do just quickly, once again, want to welcome all of our new followers. If you could share this video by swiping down on Android and left to right on Apple devices, that would be fantastic. I also just saw that we had a question come in about the difference between DSLR and something else. If you could resend that, I just didn't quite catch it, sorry. And thank you for all those from viewing from foreign countries and locally from Brisbane as well.
Yeah, look, one other thing I'd quickly like to talk about in terms of the cinematography. If anyone's got any questions, please feel to ask now through the chat. I would say that, so a good example of using more of a cinematic style is to use storytelling. So what that means is that the editor of the wedding film would actually try to piece together a story, you know, and that story might start with, for example, introducing the characters or introducing the family. So the best way that they would do that is that they would take perhaps some of the speeches, or take some of the perhaps the celebrant talking during the ceremony, and to use that story that they're telling to perhaps use it for that purpose, to introduce you know, maybe the bride and groom, or introduce the family and the background of the story and so forth. And that type of storytelling can be used throughout the film, so that it doesn't necessarily need to be chronological. So we find sometimes some brides, they want everything to be in order, and some prefer to have a bit of what you call time shifting, where you maybe start the film with, let's say, a speech at the reception, and then you go back to getting ready and things like that. So yeah, it's nice to consider like all the different options, you know, and to just actually make a choice for that wedding based on that particular wedding. Or perhaps on the bride and groom, because often the bride and groom will have a preference. Do we want music, or do we want more storytelling and speaking in the film? You know, generally speaking, from my opinion, I think that to have a story in your wedding film is really important, because if you just have music in the background and you know, a bunch of sort of video clips with just music underneath it, I think for me that you're kind of creating a music video, but you're not creating a story, and I think that's something that I think couples should really think about, is that when that gets shown to someone, is it actually telling them anything? Like perhaps, you know, a friend or a family member, or, you know, people who want to know more about the story, perhaps even 20, 30 years from now, you know?
Show it to your grandkids.
And at that time, are you showing them a music video that has no story, or are you actually conveying, you know, your personal story?
I think it's a really beautiful way to show it. It would seem the difference is with cinematography, you get to see the whole story of the couple and their wedding day, as opposed to just, you know, snippets of the wedding day.